Here at 5 a.m.
Just a couple of showers working through Marion County right now. Otherwise, mostly cloudy conditions to start as our trough of low pressure continues to pull away from the area. So tracking some heavier rainfall north and west of town, especially around Citra. Couple of showers, but most of that heavy rainfall is now working towards Alachua County and Putnam County. Some heavier rainfall and heavy downpours around Chiefland, north of Cedar Key, working through parts of Levy County. A couple of thunderstorms there as well. Otherwise, this morning, I'm just watching an isolated chance for rain. Then looking ahead to the afternoon, scattered rain, a couple of thunderstorms as well. We'll time it out hour by hour for you in just a few minutes. First, though, let's get over to interesting to see how much you can actually get and build a disaster kit from scratch. Yes, absolutely. Go take a look at that if you have not watched our special. Okay, happy to say we're not tracking anything in the tropics right now. Our trough of low pressure is no longer going to gain any sort of tropical characteristics. So the National Hurricane Center says there's no development expected in the next 7 days, which is great news. One thing we are watching, though, is the Saharan dust. Of course, this limits any tropical activity from developing. We also have a lot of dust moving into central Florida at the moment, and this is going to stick around with us throughout the day today, and it's going to affect those with respiratory issues, but it's also going to make our sunsets, our sunrises very vibrant, and it's going to keep those skies pretty hazy all the way throughout the day today, but also into the weekend. Soon, though, I think middle of next week, we should start to see a lot of that dust clear out. But how does that affect our rainfall? We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes. First, though, let's get over to first warning. Carolina is the core of that trough, bringing some heavier rainfall to the coast of South Carolina, North Carolina, and even into some of those inland spots as well. So if you're going to be traveling to any of these locations today, just be aware we're going to be watching that flooding potential from Charleston all the way up to Plymouth, almost towards the Virginia, North Carolina border. But otherwise, here in central Florida, I'm not concerned about any localized flooding because today we're going to be a lot drier than what we had yesterday. Already this morning, we are dealing with relatively dry conditions, just a few spotty showers here in the metro, but that heavy rainfall right now is working through Levy County, Alachua County, and parts of Putnam County. I think that will continue to exit as we go throughout the morning hours, but I am just keeping an isolated rain chance in the forecast for our northwest locations and maybe a sprinkle or two here in our central locations. Otherwise, the best chance for rainfall will be this afternoon and evening as more showers and thunderstorms develop. So by 10 o'clock, maybe one or two isolated showers will start to get a break in some of that cloud cover, leading to mostly sunny conditions. That heat, that humidity will develop a few isolated showers around 12:30, 1 o'clock. Then we have scattered rain with a few thunderstorms for the late afternoon and early evening. And because we have a south-southwest wind today, anything that develops this afternoon will be east of I-75. So it's really going to favor our central and our eastern locations for any showers and thunderstorms that develop, but all of that will clear out by around 11, 12 o'clock tonight. Otherwise, because we'll see a lot more sunshine today, our high temperatures return back into the upper 80s and low 90s, and even warmer tomorrow, low and mid 90s with more afternoon showers and thunderstorms. That trend is going to continue into the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday morning will start off dry. Then we have showers and thunderstorms rolling into the area, up to about a 40% coverage Saturday and Sunday. So it's not going to be widespread rain, but it's also not going to be very dry. We'll still have that threat for some showers and thunderstorms. And when we look at those rainfall precipitation amounts, some of us could pick up around 2 to 3 inches underneath those heavier downpours now through Saturday, but it's not going to be a widespread 2 to 3 inches. Most of us in central Florida are still in a deficit for the year of precipitation. Here in the metro, though, we are in a surplus by almost about 3 inches. So it's no surprise that a lot of our metro counties are under that abnormally dry drought status, and happy to say there's no extreme drought status across central Florida. We will, though, continue to watch how we progress.
More with us later on this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's almost back to that summertime pattern of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Our trough of low pressure is lifting up towards the Carolinas, bringing them a lot of rainfall. Here locally, just a couple of showers, but most of this is not even in our Marion County locations. Just a few isolated sprinkles in western Marion County. A lot of that heavy rainfall is moving from Levy County up towards Alachua County, even some thunderstorms as well. But I am keeping an isolated rain chance in the forecast this morning. I think the better chance for rainfall will be in the afternoon and evening because we're going to get a break in that cloud cover. That's going to allow us to heat up into the upper 80s and low 90s. That heat, that humidity build they'll pop up showers and thunderstorms. We'll time it out hour by hour for you in just a few minutes. But first, let's get over to first warning. Things are quiet this morning. Things are also quiet in the tropics as well. We were talking about this trough of low pressure potentially gaining some tropical characteristics, but happy to say that is not going to happen here. What's going to happen, though, in the Carolinas, so South Carolina, North Carolina, if you're going to be traveling to these locations because of that trough of low pressure bringing some heavy rainfall, they're going to be watching that flood threat. But again, in the tropics, there is no development expected in the next 7 days. Now, this morning, I am keeping an isolated rain chance in the forecast, but then going into the afternoon, we'll track showers and thunderstorms across the area, and our pattern goes back to normal. But we are going to be tracking another thing in Central Florida today. We'll have those details coming up in a few minutes. First, though, it's 5:30 today. We already have thick Saharan dust rolling into South Florida, and that's quickly moving up into Central Florida. And I think today is actually going to be the worst day for the thick dust, and unfortunately, that dust is going to stick around tomorrow into the weekend, but it looks like we'll start to clear out a lot of that dust as we go towards midweek next week, so around next Wednesday. But at least now it's going to be the worst of the dust, and then this weekend into Monday, Tuesday, we're still going to be tracking that dust. Now, in terms of precipitation, a lot of us this morning waking up to dry conditions, but a lot of cloud cover because our trough of low pressure hasn't really kicked out a lot of the clouds or moist air yet, but eventually we will see a lot of that cloud cover begin to clear. In terms of rainfall, there's not a lot. We were tracking some heavy rain in Levy County, but right now just seeing a couple of showers around the Bushnell area in Sumter County. That's why I'm keeping an isolated rain chance in the forecast this morning. And then looking ahead to the afternoon, we're basically back to our summertime pattern of showers and thunderstorms firing up in the afternoon. But that rain coverage is going to be a lot lower than what we had yesterday. So again, this morning, maybe 1 or 2 isolated showers. Those clouds begin to break apart. We'll see some sunshine this afternoon. That sunshine will heat us up, and that will allow for you isolated showers to develop around lunchtime. And then we'll quickly develop scattered rain with a few thunderstorms in our central and our eastern spots for the late afternoon and early evening. We'll have a southwesterly wind today, so any rainfall that does develop in the afternoon will be east of I-75. So basically our central and eastern spots, that's the best chance to see a few more showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. So if you do have beach plans today, just be aware we will be tracking that rainfall from 3 to 5 in Daytona Beach. In Melbourne, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds, but still a little bit more overcast conditions to start off our morning, and then maybe later on in the evening around 6, 7 o'clock, some showers and thunderstorms moving in your direction. Otherwise, temperatures today almost back at average into the upper 80s and low 90s. Tomorrow, everyone is back in the 90s, a couple of mid 90s as well along the I-75 corridor. And you guessed it, we'll have more showers